We're really not stopping for anything. The year passed, it's come and gone, and Site 12, we're now into the feasibility study stage, and as Keith mentioned before, this is the last site where we have a feasibility study ongoing. That was sort of, internally, we had a goal of getting the environmental program going again. It's going on for a long time, and we made a commitment several years ago to get every site going on Treasure Island, and I think we've achieved that goal. And a goal was to get everything to the feasibility study stage, and we're there with Site 12. So with Bryce's data gap sampling event, which occurred recently, we now can supplement the feasibility study. This happens a lot. In the circle process, we do have flexibility to amend documents when new information is found, much like we amended the original HRA. So this is very similar to it. We have new data that will help us refine our remedial action down the road, so that's really what this document is for. Also, on the circular chemical side, we have the proposed plan. With the finalization of the feasibility study addendum, we can now take a look at what do we think is going to be the preferred remedy to address the chemical constituents within Site 12. And that's really what this document is going to focus on, and there will be a specific public meeting associated with that proposed plan. 2 records of decisions, one for Site 24, which has been the subject of many studies throughout the years for the groundwater. We're finally to the stage where we will select a final remedy for it. And same for 32. 32, interesting history there. We're just in a holding pattern while we do the radiological scanning for that, but again, that should be a no further action route. Just what we were talking about, the petroleum arsenic area at Gateview Avenue by Gateview Avenue. An action memorandum will allow us to sort of take a early stab at some of the petroleum contamination there in a time-critical removal action. In sites where we're wrapping up the remedial action, a remedial action completion report will be completed for Site 21, again groundwater, Site 27, which is the Skeet Range, and Site 31, which is the area by Site 30. And on the radiological front, with all the data that we're collecting, we're able now to memorialize it within the documents submitted to the state and ultimately get the free release. So this is our list of areas to get free release. Building 3, Building 233, former Building 233, Site 31, and Bigelow Court, the footprint for the excavation. For Site 6, the remedial action will be implemented. Bryce will be working on that project, and so approximately 6,500 cubic yards will be excavated to deal with the former firefighting training school. And then, of course, you know, one of our biggest goals is to finish up the big excavation of West Side Drive. Obviously, it's gone on for a long time. So due to changing conditions and different contractual actions, but we hope to wrap that particular excavation up as well as finish the work in Bayside North Point. Actually, it'll probably wrap up 2016, but the work will continue through this current year. So for Site 6, it's pretty straightforward. The radiological free release, as we talked about, will occur. And then for the chemicals of concern, it'll be a pretty straightforward excavation with field work in early 2015 and or the work plans in early 2015 and the actual work in October 2015. Hopefully we can get it done before the rain.
Right. Okay, and next. Okay, so Site 12, the Treasure Island housing area. Feasibility study done in 2015 using the information from the data gaps investigation Bryce and his team did that we talked about. We'll put that out, and then we'll have ongoing work in the solid waste disposal areas. That's North Point, Bayside, and West Side. You're going to see a lot of excavation. It's going to start in the March timeframe. Some of that is weather dependent. Some of that is also, Dave and his team are working out some of the contracting parts of that. But you're going to see a lot of work there. And that means a lot of notices to the community and to all the other stakeholders, where we'll keep you informed about what we're planning to do, and then we'll meet and talk about it before we do it. But there is going to be a lot of cleanup there. And then groundwater contamination in the gate area, again, that's the arsenic and the weathered petroleum. It's in a fairly small area, by the way. We're talking about right in here, right in there, between these two buildings mostly. And there's going to be an action memorandum to support that if we do decide to go in and execute some work in 2015, which I believe we will. We don't know quite yet what we're doing. We're still talking about different alternatives and different ways of, different approaches on this groundwater site. So we think it'll begin in late 2015, ending in 2016. Next. Okay, so our groundwater site, where the old dry cleaning facility was in Building 99, proposed plan is going to be issued in February, as Danielle and I were talking, and there will be a record of decision signed later in the year, and then we'll do a design on trying to clean up the remainder of the residual contamination, the relatively low-level contamination that remains there is going to be cleaned up, and we'll do the design in late 2015 and finalize it into early 2016. Okay, and Site 30, the daycare center. The Navy annually inspects the foundation of the daycare center because it's fine as long as it's got a good solid foundation. Again, it does. In fact, I helped with the inspection this year, that part of that project. And in 2015, Navy will perform a follow-up. The state has already, just as a precautionary measure, done a health and safety RAD survey in the proximity, just because in this area there was a historical recycling yard. There's no evidence there that there's ever been any RAD there, or that there's any RAD there now. But the state went out and did their survey and came up negative for anything. But they want us, they are telling the Navy, go out and do and formalize your own survey. So in 2015, we're going to go out and formalize and do our own survey, which will look, I imagine, much like their survey. Okay. On Site 31, the former storage yard, the Navy is seeking radiological free release of the site, and the final status survey is going to be issued in early 2015, around the March timeframe. And that again is where we repave the intersection. We talked about it last Rab meeting a bit, and that where we also covered the playground, and then we've taken down the fences, and all the work is done there. Site 32. Site 32 is, Site 6 is up here. This is the wastewater treatment plant. Site 32 is in this area. The pandemonium Site 2 used to be here as well. So the radiological survey is complete, and the Navy will issue a report in early 2015, right? And we'll have a record of decision next year that's signed by the agencies. I hope it's before October 2015, but we'll see.
We'll do our best.
Yes. But this site has already had extensive...
Correct. There was an excavation several years ago for PCVs under Tosca, correct.
Okay. So the radiological program goes for 2015. So we're at the point where we're going to seek free release from the state of California at these 4 sites, as I said. Building 3 is where there was an optical shop that used radium paint. We did a radiological survey and found no contamination there. We're hoping that that's going to gain approval from the state of California. Solid waste disposal at Bigelow Court, because we finished there and done all of our surveys. Building 233, which is completed, and we did a lot of removals to get everything there. And then Site 31. But we shall see, because the Navy carries it to a certain point, and we'll see what the state of California has to say, whether that satisfies them to get free release or not.
Sure, so this map is very similar to the other one. It just shows the areas that are up and coming. So we'll just go around the area clockwise here, starting with former storage areas. Again, these are those areas historically used as storage areas, mainly during the World War II era, north and south of Site 30. Again, petroleum Site 20, just because it's within Site 12. Site 30 itself, just because we have no information about it, and historically you may have had some of those recycling activities. Pandemonium Site 1, former training mock-up ship for that area. Of course, the solid waste disposal areas, Building 461, another area where there was some training ongoing associated with the Pandemonium Site 2, which is the same as Site 32, part of the footprint at least. And then, of course, you have Site 6, which is the place where we put the bins. Former salvage area associated with the treatment plant, the sanitary sewer line. Lot 69 just happened to be a lot. We really don't have any evidence of any radiological items stored there. It just happens to be during the area where the radium wasn't regulated as much. Same with Building 342, where there's some training, and we're just going to conduct some surveys in that building. So a lot of things going on here, but we basically are going to have action on every single thing that we have impacted in the HRASTM.
Yep. Okay, and then community outreach, we're going to do some RAB supports and community bus tours, some public meetings, progress reports, more work notices, and we're going to attend some other community meetings, such as the Treasure Island, the TIC. Okay, so that's a quick wrap-up of what, in general terms, we think we're going to do. Does a year ever go, does a year ever actually go forth as we envision it a year from now? No. I mean, obviously there's going to be some twists and turns in the road. There always are in a program that has this many moving parts to it.